Thank you. Apologize for a little bit out of breath. Throughout this entire crisis, we've been learning things every day, new things, different things. Things have been changing every day. It's very difficult for anyone who's trying to deal with something of this magnitude to be able to dance and maneuver as quickly as these changes are presented. So that challenge does not go unnoticed by anyone. I am among the longest serving members of the House Oversight Committee, currently on that committee. Rep. Serpa and I have been on that committee since 2013. And I just want to reflect back on what we've done in House Oversight. In 2016, in a very extraordinary move, in October of an election year nonetheless, House Oversight was called to convene jointly with House Finance because the UHIP situation had started to run into some cost overruns that folks, frankly and rightfully so, felt were an issue. One of the opening statements in that 2016 oversight hearing was about the impact this UHIP fiasco was having on nursing homes. It's not something we don't think about. Since that 2016 meeting, we've covered things like UHIP. Our most vulnerable population is being affected by that. MTM, our most vulnerable. FNS, our most vulnerable. DCYF, our most vulnerable. We have been overseeing the actions of this administration since 2016. And we've been doing so effectively, appropriately, and responsibly. We know now, and we knew at the beginning, the epicenter of this outbreak is and has been congregate settings, nursing homes, long-term care facilities. As this has gone on, and every day there is at least one update from the administration, there have been 16 news reports covering the impact on nursing homes. I don't think that's enough, and I don't think that's the media's fault. I think it's because we are not being given information at the press briefings. We're given numbers. But as a person who has had to, as part of my responsibility on oversight, read the Child Advocate's report in excruciating detail on how a young child died under negligent care, it's heartbreaking. If you have a heart, it tears it out of your chest. And we have upwards of 550 seniors who have died in these congregate settings from COVID-19 right now. And each of them have a story equally as heart-wrenching as those children in the Child Advocate's report. But we don't hear about them. We just hear about the numbers. From my perspective, again, on oversight, and knowing what we do and what we've done as it pertains to the administration and the administration's actions, I feel comfortable stating that this administration has failed our most vulnerable elderly population in the state of Rhode Island. Dramatically failed them. We have a Kafkaesque system where elderly are put into homes, their families cannot visit them, they cannot hold their loved ones' hands when they die. Can you imagine that? Who among us hasn't had a loved one in a nursing home? Can you imagine that? The issues that have led to this must be explored by House Oversight. It's an obligation. It's our responsibility. It's our duty. We've proven, it's been demonstrated that bodies can meet safely and make decisions safely right now. There is no reason that House Oversight is not doing what it's doing or what it should be doing. The types of things that I would want to know if I were asking the questions of the administration and those called before House Oversight would be the same questions we ask about all of the other tragedies that are happening under the misguidance of this administration, whether it's children or whether it's medical transport services. Regardless, we need to ask the same. What are you doing now? Why isn't it working? What are you planning to do in the future? And in this particular situation, when we're dealing with a global pandemic, the closest thing we can reflect back on being the 1918 influenza outbreak. The leading health experts are telling us this will come back in the fall. This will come back in the fall. And if it even remotely looks like the influenza of 1918, it's going to come back worse. So I would be asking questions about that. What are we doing to prepare for that inevitability? Why has it gotten to this point, and why hasn't it been addressed properly by this administration? And why is House Oversight sitting on the sidelines? We should be ashamed. I am ashamed of House Oversight as the longest serving member on that committee. I am ashamed that we have done nothing. And I hope my colleagues feel that shame as well, because it belongs to us and only us. We need to convene however we have to do that, whether it's through extraordinary circumstances or through the proper channels or the regular channels. We have to meet, we have to ask these questions. People are dying and we are not doing what needs to be done. If this doesn't warrant action, I frankly don't know what will.